Hey, how's it going, everybody? So recently, I just finished the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and I think I had some things that I wanted to say about it that I really wanted to talk about. I did genuinely enjoy the campaign. I thought it was a good campaign for the most part. I did think it was a little weaker compared to the original three Modern Warfare campaigns, but it was still pretty good. Personally, I played it on regular. And it had its really good parts, like I said, but when it was bad, it was pretty bad. So let's talk about that. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave a like, and let's get into it. And I really wanted to start this video by talking about some of the things that I really liked with the campaign, such as the weapons in this game. For one, I genuinely enjoy. They feel heavy, so to speak. They feel very powerful, very strong. When you shoot an enemy in this game, the weapons feel like it's going to put them down. And even like I was saying before, like some of the missions in this game, when they are good, they are really good. For instance, one of my favorite missions, Borderline, is you're chasing somebody, and the pacing for this mission is really good. You're going house to house, close quarters, trying to find this guy, and there's even situations where you're having to push civilians back when they're coming at you trying to get you, and it makes it all feel really intense. And the missions that were like this were probably the best missions in the game, such as I think the other two missions I really liked were Killer Capture and Dark Water were both fantastic missions. And honestly, it's unfortunate that the rest of the game wasn't like these three missions. Like Killer Capture, it's dark, night vision the whole time, and it's just intense and dramatic. And Dark Water is probably the best mission in the game. Like there's a reason that Dark Water was shown for the most part in the campaign trailers was all Dark Water and Killer Capture. And I think that's definitely why they showed that. I think that Infinity Ward definitely knew that these were their strongest missions out of the campaign. But that's one of my biggest complaints is that all of the missions that were like Dark Water or Killer Capture were incredibly short. I think it honestly took me 10, 15 minutes at most to beat Dark Water, whereas the super boring missions like Violence and Timing, that mission probably took me half hour of just jumping vehicles. And then beyond that, even everything to do with the cartel in this game, which I really wish they would have done more with. They really kind of dropped the ball there. They could have done so much more with the Mexican cartel in this game, and it honestly would have made the story so much better if they went further with that. But they didn't, and it is what it is. So the low parts of the story, there were quite a few of them, unfortunately, and they were really low. For instance, I think a lot of people have talked about the mission alone, and overall, I don't think it was a bad mission. I think maybe it had a place in the story. I just don't think they necessarily did it right. I know there is a crafting mechanic in this mission, and I'm pretty sure they were just trying to show off the crafting mechanic that's going to be in DMZ, and that's the only reason it's in this. The crafting mechanic is also in the mission Countdown, which is the very last mission, and there in Countdown more than in Alone, it just feels completely out of place. Like it doesn't need to be in the last mission of the game, and have the last mission completely revolve around that. I think takes away from the suspense of the last mission in the game. There were also a couple C-130 missions in this game, and they were okay, but I think they definitely missed an opportunity to go back and forth. There were a lot of times in the C-130 missions where you were watching the squad that you're protecting on the ground breach buildings, and they I think they missed an opportunity to kind of go back and forth, like have you go from the C-130 and then zoom down to the people on the ground and take over whoever is there and breach that building while the AC-130 is covering the outside. But it is what it is. The C-130 missions were okay. Um And then the sniper mission in this game, the new Gilly in the Mist mission was it started off good. It started off okay, but really fell off on the end. I think it got fairly slow and boring, and was a lot of Captain Price telling you exactly where to aim and how to shoot. And I'm pretty sure it's literally the same recording over and over and over again. They didn't even have the voice actor record different voice lines for this part. And it kind of makes it very repetitive. The whole time he's basically just telling you to aim 2 notches up, 3 notches up.
3 notches for bullet drop. 2.5 notches. 3 notches. 3 notches. 3 notches. 3.5 notches. 3.5 notches. 4 notches. 3.5 notches.
Depending on how far away you are from the enemy you're trying to snipe, and then sometimes you have to snipe 2 enemies, and he tells you to run a mile to your left or your right so that you can line up this shot on these 2 enemies, and that's basically the mission. It's just very disappointing sniping mission. Not fun at all. And honestly, I think the entire time playing this campaign, there's never a moment where you feel like there's any kind of risk. You never feel like anybody's going to die. You never feel like the bad thing that the bad guy is trying to do is ever going to happen. And on to what I think is probably the worst mission in the game is Violence and Timing. It's this mission where you're trying to go up this convoy of enemy vehicles to get to the front of it to get to somebody. I'm not going to say who. I don't really want to spoil anything. But the mission doesn't make any sense, and I don't feel like it really has any place in this campaign at all. I think honestly the overall flow of the story would have felt better without this mission. Like honestly, if this mission wasn't even in the game, the game would have flowed fine. Like without this mission, nothing would have changed. And don't even get me started on the insanely long convoy. That is just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense, and there's no way that any person has has this big of a convoy. It is ridiculous. And this mission is just littered with bugs. You're trying to jump from vehicle to vehicle to get to the front of this convoy. And not only is it crazy difficult to jump from vehicle to vehicle, I can't even tell you how many times I tried to jump to another vehicle just to get hit by some weird hitbox in the sky and fall to my death. And I also had this weird visual bug the entire time that I was playing this mission where Price and Farah both had like flashlights in their foreheads that were like suns. And I couldn't, basically anytime there was a cinematic in this mission, I couldn't see a thing. My screen was just white the whole time. Overall, Violence and Timing was just not a great mission. It didn't need to be there. It had no place in this game. It's kind of disappointing. There are also these armored guys. There's a new enemy in the game that is just littered in armor, just head to toe. It doesn't matter. Even after you break their helmet, it still takes like another 2 bullets to the head to drop them. And I think the most tedious part of this entire campaign is just the armored enemies. Just feels like a lazy way to maybe make the campaign feel longer, is just making the enemies harder to kill. And especially in the mission alone. They're the only kind of enemy that you are fighting in the mission alone is the armored guys. And it's just ridiculous because you're not supposed to have any weapons of any kind in this mission. And it basically makes it just insanely tedious to even play this mission. It's just ridiculous. Overall, I think I would give the Modern Warfare 2 campaign a 7 out of 10. It wasn't horrible. It definitely wasn't the worst Call of Duty campaign I've ever played. I mean, I think we've all played Vanguard, especially compared to the original 3 Modern Warfare campaigns. It was very weak. You're definitely not going to get a lot of the suspenseful and like jaw-dropping moments that you would get in the original Modern Warfare campaigns. It just isn't there. But we'll see. Maybe Modern Warfare 3, the new one, will be better. We just have to wait and see what happens. Hey guys, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching it all the way through and hanging out. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.